Hey MirrorPad, are you ready to make this video?
Finish.
Welcome back to another Tech Connect. As you can see, Luke is back. Yay for Luke! It's not just me. So that means it's going to be a great video. Not only is it going to be a great video because Luke's here, but we're also looking at a brand new product that I think is actually quite cool. It is the MirrorPad. Hang with us and let's check out why I think this is the cat's meow. All right, Luke, we have done devices with similar feature sets before, right? Near magnification, distance, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the MirrorPad, well, I don't think, the MirrorPad is super unique, not only in its design, but I think some of the features you're gonna highlight today as well.
Yeah, the design is basically like having a television on a little stand. It's super lightweight and it's very compact and it's easy to carry around with you. Now, it doesn't have a carry handle, which is a little bit strange because I think a carry handle would be really nice for it. But other than that, it's a very unique design, as I'm sure you are seeing in the B-roll right now, if Jonathan has done his job. And we're basically talking a little stand and then a neck and then the screen. And there is a distance camera to the right side. And Corey, here's an interesting little design feature.
Yeah.
There is a suction cup on the back, which you don't have to have on, but the suction cup, the idea is it suctions it to the table that you're on so that it doesn't accidentally tip forward.
Sure, and it's not permanent then, so it allows you to quickly move it around.
Precisely.
Do you recall the size of the screen on this device?
It's 16 inches.
Yeah, so comparing to other sort of luggables or portables, it's a larger screen, but I think, I don't know, the way the design is, it doesn't appear to be like a big device.
No, not at all. No, it's very, very compact. Now, those of you who've seen the Cloverbook Pro video that we did in the past, this is very similar in terms of the feature set, although it does have a couple of its own things going on as well. So just a quick review of the controls. The controls are on the base, and we have a number of tactile controls that we can use. As Corey said, we have close-up magnification, we have distance magnification, we have OCR, including full page OCR, and the screen has the ability to rotate, which is really kind of cool. So we can do either portrait or landscape view. And in addition, we can also use the touchscreen to operate some touchscreen controls. And here's where it gets clever, Corey. We can control our Android phone by connecting it to the device, and then basically the device's 16-inch screen will become your Android phone, and you'll be able to use the device's touchscreen to control your Android phone. Now, if you have an Apple phone like Corey over here, you know, if you're one of those paupers who is still using Apple for some strange reason.
Yeah, I'd like you to empty your pockets right now, because I'm pretty sure you have an iPhone in your pocket as well.
Busted. But you can still connect your iPhone to this device, but you won't be able to control your iPhone from the MirrorPad's screen.
And if I'm not mistaken, so that is its true purpose, right? Is to plug in a cell phone and, like you said, from an Android, be able to control it. But it really is just an HDMI input. So you could plug in a Amazon Fire TV or anything you'd want, and be able to get it on this display too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people benefit from sitting close to a smaller television rather than sitting far away from a larger one. And so you could really have this on a table directly in front of you, plug in your Fire Stick or your Roku or whatever you might be using, and actually use the MirrorPad as your television. So a lot of potential great uses, Corey.
Yes. I would love, though, for you to show me how to do near magnification.
That's unfortunate because I would love for you to show me. But since you asked first, I guess I will give it a try. So let's go ahead and jump in and check out how near magnification works. All right, so the bread and butter of any electronic magnifier is, Corey?
Its ability to fold up and put it away when you're not using it.
That is not true.
Oh.
The bread and butter feature is magnification, of course, and we're going to start with close-up magnification. Now, the camera is located on the right side, so we do have a distance camera, which is kind of a tubular affair that's connected to the right side of the screen. And underneath, on the underside of that camera is a camera that faces downward for our near distance. And so we would be placing our documents kind of to the right side of the device. And and we would be then seeing them on the screen, and we will be able to move the document left and right. Now, what they've done is they have a base which kind of tapers toward the table, and so you can slide your document kind of over the base as you're moving it around to read it. So pretty good design there. We have magnification controls on the left side. The bottom left control will allow us to zoom in. We can rotate that control to zoom in, and the picture remains nice and sharp because, of course, it is high definition because this is 2025 and not 1995. So we can zoom in and out, good range of magnification. Just above the magnification control, we have our color selection, and we can rotate the dial to flip between our favorite color modes. Now, you can actually set custom color modes in the settings, and so you can set up whatever colors you want to be available when you press that button. If we press in the middle of the color button, that is going to freeze the image, and so now even if I take my document away, the image is still on the screen, so we've essentially taken a picture. Now, this one hasn't saved because I just pressed in the middle, but if I had held in the middle of that color button, it would have saved the image, and so we do have internal memory, but we can also save to an external device as well, whether that be an SD card or a USB drive. In this case, I didn't save the image, and if I just press it in the middle of the color button again, it's going to take me back to my live view once again. Now, one of the really cool features of this device is live panning. Quick quiz, Corey.
Yes.
Did we or did we not have access to live panning with the Cloverbook Pro?
Well, I don't believe I was there when you made the Cloverbook Pro video.
I know that you've watched it religiously since it was
I did watch
so.
it last night, but I keep falling asleep within about 20 seconds. But
Wow.
yes, we did not have access sometimes to live panning.
Corey was hedging his bets there.
Let's take a look at this joystick because we can do live panning with the Cloverbook Pro. We can't pan the entire width of a document, so it is a fairly limited range of movement there. But it does help us. We don't have to move the document perhaps as much as we would do otherwise.
We did have access to live panning with the Cloverbook.
Exactly. You have passed the test. Way to go, Luke. Good job.
So we also have access to live panning here. And if you are a keen fan of the channel, which hopefully you are, you will have seen the Explore 12 video, which I did recently. Corey was not there because he apparently isn't able to attend videos anymore.
I was at a funeral, thank you very much.
Wow, okay, I take it back. But the Explore 12 also had this live panning feature. So the general idea is we zoom in on a document and we are in the live mode. So you are looking at a live image from the camera. However, even in the live mode, we can pan the image left, right, up, and down without having to move the document physically. And so in the case of the MirrorPad Pro here, we have a joystick, which is a orange circular thing in the center of the controls on the base. And we can move that to the left, and to the right and up and down, and that will allow us to pan around without moving the document. So potentially we could read a page of text without having to physically move the page, even when we are zoomed in. So a really nice feature. It works seamlessly, and we will get kind of an indicator when we reach the extent of the panning on either side, so we know that we can't pan anymore in that direction. So I'm a big fan of that feature. It's very cool indeed. And yeah, that's really the basics. Now, we do have access to a few more controls, and I will just take a look at those quickly. So there is a home button on the base here, which will bring up some basic controls, which have to be operated with the touchscreen, so they're displayed at the top of the screen. And so from left to right here, we have the ability to turn on and off the device's own LED lighting. So if we're looking at a self-lighted object, such as a smartphone or a tablet, we can turn off the LED lights of the device because we won't need those. We can adjust screen brightness, and so we have a good range of screen brightness that we can adjust in between to set the screen exactly how we'd like it. We also have a battery indicator, and that gives me a good prompt to mention that this does have a built-in internal battery, and so you do not have to be connected to power in order to use this device. We also have contrast adjustment, which is especially useful if you are looking into the distance at an electronic screen, as we will see in the next section. Bit of foreshadowing there, Corey.
Oh, a little
bit.
bit.
Next section, yep. And then our final control here is for the color saturation. So if the colors are not quite looking, right, they're too washed out or they're too bright, we can adjust saturation. So easy access to some really nice, features there to make sure we can get the image exactly how we want it. Now, there is some more cool features to look at here, and I think it's about time that we did that. But before we do, I believe that Cory has a presentation that he would like to give me, apparently on how to make some good YouTube videos.
Yes, I do think you'd benefit from that.
There you go. So let's go ahead and check out the presentation and see if it's worth anything.
Welcome to the first annual How to Make an Amazing YouTube Video Seminar. Probably will actually be the only one we did because, Luke, you are our only attendee.
Hello.
But
by the way, I was forced to come.
but you weren't in our last video, and did Jonathan and I, we figured out everything that we need to do to make a great video. So I want you to enjoy our last video on smart thermostats.
I'm not sure this presentation is going to be super useful, but anyway, we're stuck here, and luckily I have my MirrorPad with me, and the MirrorPad can do distance viewing, so I'm going to be able to zoom in on the presentation and even zoom in on Cory's face if I really want to. Now, this is achieved using the distance camera to the right side of the device, and this camera is the same as the one on the Cloverbook Pro, so if you haven't seen that video, then go check it out. But it's the same in terms of its articulations. We can rotate it at the top to get some left to right movement. We can tilt it to the left and the right to get some angle. And we can also tilt it backwards and forwards so we can look up and down with the camera. So with these different articulations, we can really position it exactly where we want. Cory, where should I be focusing in for this presentation? Thank you. So Cory is very usefully pointing to the screen. I'm going to use my magnification control, and we will zoom up here and see what we can see. All right, let's start the video.
Play.
That's amazing voice technology you've got going on there. Okay, so apparently this is how to make the perfect YouTube video. And here we see this video, which was released a few weeks ago. And it looks pretty good. Now, if the colors weren't looking quite right, we do have some adjustment in terms of the contrast. And if we are looking at a video screen like this, then we might need to play about with those. So by pressing the home control, which is second in from the right side, we can bring up some options, and the fourth option along is for the contrast. If I hit that, it will allow me to adjust the contrast, and that will change the colors on what I'm looking at here. So we can go ahead and use the touch screen to change the slider to get the colors looking as good as they are able to. And there we go. We have got that set, and it's looking very nice. However, I just realized, Cory, this is a very important presentation. And of course, I need to take notes. Because, you know, if I can't take notes, how am I going to remember all this information that Cory is just throwing down and expecting me to pick up like this? So luckily we can go into a split screen mode, and that will facilitate me being able to take notes. If I press the button to the far right again, that will put me into the split screen mode. And now on the left side of the screen, I have the distance camera view, but on the right side of the screen, I have the close-up view. And now once I get my pen, I'm going to be able to make some notes here on the right side. And I can even adjust magnification independently for these two sides. And so the side which is currently focused will have an orange square around it. So at the moment, that would be the distance camera. If I use my magnification control, it's going to allow me to zoom out and zoom in on that side. But if I want to zoom out and zoom in on the close-up side, I can just tap on the right side of the screen, which is showing me the close-up camera view. And now I can rotate that magnification control, and I can go ahead and set that to the level that I need for writing. We can even change colors independently per side. And so if I want the right side a different color scheme to the left side, I can do that as well. And it's the same with the other settings that we have as well. So we're able to do those independently per side. Extremely neat feature. I like it a lot. It's very useful. And with the larger screen of the MirrorPad compared to the Cloverbook, that's even more practical for doing a split screen like this. Now, there is one more thing that I'd like to highlight with this, which is kind of cool, and that would be rotating the screen. So I'm going to grab the screen, we're going to rotate it here. This would now be in portrait mode. With the portrait mode of the screen, I am still seeing at the moment, because we're in the split screen view, I'm still seeing the two views, the distance camera. Give us a wave, Cory, there, thank you. There he is, the man, the legend. And on the bottom, I have the close-up. So now, rather than these being side by side like they were before, they are top and bottom. And I can still go ahead and tap on the top and the bottom as required to change the settings for the close-up or the distance. Now we can do OCR in the distance as well, and we'll be looking at how to do OCR and a little bit further along in the video. But just bear in mind that you are able to select the distance camera and do optical character recognition and have any text which is in the distance read aloud to you. So all in all, it's a really solid feature set for distance magnification.
Stop.
And so we have seen that we can do distance view with the camera on the right side of the device, but we can also do self view because the camera will rotate enough for us to be able to point it at our own noggins. And so I'm going to go ahead and rotate the camera to point toward me and use the view switching button on the base here. And now when it goes into the view from the camera, it's going to be in the self view now. So it's looking directly at me. It knows it's not trying to look into the far distance. Instead, it's looking at something closer in front of it. I have to say, looking at myself up close like this is kind of scary. So let's try not look at this for too long. Now, at the moment, it looks a little bit on the dark side, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the settings by pressing the home button, and I'm going to adjust the contrast here, and that's really brighten things up and it looks a little bit nicer. Now we can adjust the magnification level as well. We can freeze the image as we've seen, you know, in the reading mode. Oh, I caught myself in a great pose there. And with the image frozen, we could, you know, magnify that image and then pan around the image and so on and so forth. We could save it if we wanted to, and all of those good things that we can do. So yeah, really nice. The quality of the camera is decent, and you know, if we need to check that we have shaved properly or done our makeup or whatever it might be, then this is going to be a nice way of doing that.
Luke, one of my favorite features in any device, doesn't matter what it is, even in my toaster at home, is OCR, optical character recognition. Please tell, well, you did tell me in the distance section that there was OCR, but please show me how to use it.
Quick question though, how does the OCR on the toaster work?
I put it in and it says, your toast appears to be brown. Pop out your toast now.
That's actually kind of handy.
Yeah.
I like it. You can set it for different levels of brownness.
Yeah, actually a toaster does that already, but continue.
Anyway, so we do have OCR. Now we have OCR for kind of whatever's on the screen currently, and we also have the full page OCR option as well. We'll start off with the standard, just whatever is on the screen OCR. And so in order to do this, we actually press the power button just once. You don't want to hold it down because that will turn the device off, which I found out myself. So we'll just press the power button and it will bring up some on-screen buttons. I'm going to press the letter T in a speech bubble on the screen, and that will take a picture of the text which the Near camera is looking at.
Precaution.
And now it's reading it to us.
Basic operation. Image operation.
And I'll go ahead and pause it right there. So the OCR, I mean, it kind of does what you would expect, but there is a couple of neat features. So by default, we will be looking at the picture that we took, and it will be highlighting the area that it's currently reading. So that is kind of nice. However, if we want to see the words that it's reading in a high contrast computer font, we can go ahead and press the home button on the base of the device to bring up the controls again. And I'm going to hit the letter P on the screen, and that will flick me into this high contrast computer font. So as it's reading now,
quick start, basic operation,
it's going to be displaying the words in a high contrast font on the screen.
OCRTTS, optional, screen mirroring.
And I'll go ahead and stop it there. So that's pretty neat. It's a nice way for us to see the words. Now, of course, we can increase the size of those words using the magnification controls, and we can change the color of those words as well using our color switching controls. So all the stuff that you would really expect there. I'm going to go ahead and flip back to the image of the actual document, and I want to show you this segmenting mode, or the segmenting feature, which will basically split the text up into segments, and we can then navigate those segments using the touch screen. So in this case, it's kind of brought up these different segments on the screen, which are represented by these boxes. And this will allow me to jump around the page, reading different areas of the page just by touching on the segment that I want to read. So for example, if I want to read the second segment here, I can go ahead and bring up the controls and press the forward button, and that will flip me to the second segment. I'll hit play to read that.
Setting, specification.
And now I'm going to flip back to the previous segment by using the back button on the screen.
Precaution, quick start, basic operation, Image operation.
And I'll stop it there. So if your page is split up into different areas, let's say you're reading a magazine page and there are various different areas represented on the page, different areas of text, then you can flip in between those different areas and just listen to the particular area of text that you're interested in. Very nice feature. I like it. It makes it very convenient for reading. However, if you don't want that, you can go ahead and turn it off by pressing the button on the far right of the screen, which will turn off the segmentation, and now it's just going to kind of look like a regular document without those segments. Now we do have controls for voice speed. That is represented by a slider on the screen.
Operation. Display switching. OCR TTS. Optional. Screen mirroring. Open.
And so on and so forth. And we have volume controls to the right of the screen. So that's basically it, but before we end this segment, let's take a look at how to do a full page. At the moment, that was just whatever the camera was seeing at the time, but we can do a full 8.5 by 11. So in order to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I will bring up the controls and hit the back button on the left side. And it's a bit weird to go into the full page. So what we have to do, we have to go into the devices menu. We do that by holding down the home button. That's going to bring up a menu on the screen. And on the bottom left of that menu, we have something that says A4 full page. This is what we need to press to go into our full page OCR mode. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And now we are seeing an 8.5 by 11 area on the screen, and we can position our document within that 8.5 by 11 area, or A4 as we would call that in England. And once we have our document positioned, then it's going to be the same thing. We can press the power button to bring up the controls for text-to-speech. We can hit the text-to-speech button. It's going to take a picture of the document, and now it's captured the entire 8.5 by 11, and now we can have the entire document read aloud to us. So very nice. If you want full page, it's not too much of a hassle to do that, and the quality of the OCR seems to be decent. Cory, are you satisfied?
I am. It's much better than my toaster.
Yeah? Oh,
yes.
Poor toaster.
Hey, Mr. MirrorPad, can you make toast? Ha, didn't think so.
So with the close-up reading, we've already seen that it works nicely when the screen is horizontal, but one of the features of the MirrorPad is the ability to rotate the screen so it's vertical. So this sounds kind of cool in the sense that if we rotate the screen and we're doing close-up viewing, you would hope that maybe the image would rotate and we would be able to, for example, read columns nicely because we would have this long screen now to read the column on. But it doesn't quite work like that. At the moment, I'm in the close-up view, and everything is as you would expect. But if I rotate the screen here, then it does not make the entire image now fit to the vertical aspect of the screen. In fact, the image is still horizontal and it's just in this little window in the middle of the screen now. And so it doesn't really benefit us to rotate the screen when we're doing close-up viewing. Now, if we switch to the distance camera, the distance view actually does fill the entire screen, whether it is vertical or whether it is horizontal, and we will be taking a look at the distance view a bit more in the next section. But yeah, it's just kind of strange to me how that doesn't work for the close-up view. A little bit of a shame as well, because if it worked for the close-up view, it would be fantastic for reading columns on that kind of, portrait on that longer vertical screen. But anyway, this is where we are right now, so just something to be aware of. So, as we have mentioned already, one of the unique features of this device is the ability to connect your phone and see it on the screen. And if you have an Android phone, you can actually manipulate the phone, you can control the phone from the screen of the MirrorPad, which is kind of crazy. So the first step is to download the MirrorPlay app, which we already have installed on this Android device. And then you can connect your device to the MirrorPad via a included USB-C cable. If you have an iPhone, they actually have a USB-C to Lightning cable that's also included. So at the moment, I am seeing the Android phone displayed on the screen of the MirrorPad, but it's just kind of in the middle of the screen. The MirrorPad screen at the moment is in its horizontal formation, and so the phone screen isn't particularly large. However, this is where rotating the MirrorPad screen really comes in useful. I'm going to go ahead and rotate, and now my phone screen is taking up the entirety of this 16-inch MirrorPad screen. So I basically got a giant phone in front of me at this point, and I should be able to control this Android phone from the screen of the MirrorPad. So let's give it a try. I'm going to try and hit the home button, which is at the bottom center, and we'll see if it takes us back to our home screen, and it did. All right. So now we can have some fun. Let's find out what the weather is in Milwaukee at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and touch on the weather app at the top. And here we have the weather being displayed in this large 16-inch screen. This is really kind of cool, and you know, it's very unique. You know, I haven't seen anything like this. So a super nice way to control your phone, especially if you struggle with the smaller screen of the phone. Now you've got a 16-inch smartphone just ready to be used. Now, Cory and I saw this device at the CSUN conference, and you may have seen that video when we saw this device earlier this year at the CSUN conference. And at the time, it was a little bit laggy when it came to controlling the phone via the screen of the MirrorPad. But now I have to say it seems a lot more responsive, and so I do think that this is perfectly usable and a great way to do things. Now, one thing we can check here is how about if we want to watch a video from the phone but watch it on the MirrorPad? Well, we should be able to do that. I'm going to go ahead and open the YouTube app here from the phone.
Whoa, what's that in your hands? Show it.
It's a toaster.
And the sound is coming through the MirrorPad, and that's why I wanted to show here. So the video is playing on the MirrorPad, and the sound of the video is coming out of the MirrorPad speakers, and we have volume control on the screen we can use to adjust the volume. Now, one of the really mind-blowing features of doing this connection with your phone is using a picture-in-picture mode, whereby we can see not only what is on the phone screen, but we can also see through the distance camera at the same time. In order to do this, we can go ahead and press the button on the far right of the base, which will switch us between the different views of the magnifier, and that's going to bring up a window which is displaying whatever the distance camera is looking at. And we can reposition this window just by dragging it using our finger, because this is on the touch screen, and we can even resize it again just by dragging it with our finger. So we can go ahead and position that distance view wherever we might want it, and now we have access not only to the phone screen but also to the visuals from the distance camera. So if you struggle with your phone because it's too small, the MirrorPad might be the answer for you.
All right, Luke, I think you've done a wonderful job showing all of the features of the MirrorPad.
Wait, so does that mean that I passed your seminar?
Yes, you sure did, and it only cost you $2,000.
Worth every penny.
Exactly, everybody passes when they pay $2,000. So, you know, we've looked at devices in the past similar to this. Even the Explorer 12 to a certain degree had a similar feature set. But I don't think anyone has the same design as the MirrorPad, and I don't think anybody is doing the unique feature of connecting your Android phone and getting touchscreen access to it. So I think those are really two features that do make it stand out from its competitors.
Cory, like I said to you just before we started shooting this segment, it's just cute.
Yeah.
It really is. The design is just cute. It's a real nice, compact, and
Modern, kind of a modern,
sleek.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's got everything that you want. It's got full Page OCR, it's got distance, it's got near, it's got phone connectivity, it's got HDMI input. You know, it's like, what else could you possibly want?
And good quality.
Yeah,
good build quality. The image is good.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've only had it for a short bit, but I don't think that, you know, I think the quality is going to be just fine.
I have to say, even though it's very similar feature-wise to the Cloverbook, I much prefer this design.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's responsive, it's nice, it's sleek.
Yeah. So that is our professional review of the MirrorPad. And you know what?
Where can people buy this?
Well, you can buy it from Vision Forward.
Yay.
So just call us on the telephone.
Yeah.
Because
do people use those anymore?
Telephones?
Yeah.
Well, if you have a smartphone connected to your MirrorPad, you could go to the phone app and dial us.
That's a great
No, head over to our website, vision-forward.org/store if you want to go right to our store. We do carry the MirrorPad and tons of other devices, but we are here to give you information, not to hard sell you.
Very true.
But we are a nonprofit and we'll take your money, so feel free to do so too. We've got a lot Well, you know what, before I jump into that,
yes,
I would love for people to put down in the comments, answer two questions for me. Number one, do you miss when Luke or I are out of a video?
Are you trying to like get an excuse for not being in videos anymore?
No, I just want to make sure if we should even do this anymore.
Okay.
If people are like, yeah, I don't miss it so much. Now, if it's just one of us doing the video, do you miss that? And number two, if you're using a similar electronic video magnification device, put it down in your comments. What device are you using and what made you choose that device?
I would like to know both of those things also.
Okay, very good.
We also have some other stuff going on. We have a live show, which is every other Thursday at 11 a.m. Central. You can check that out for the moment by going to our YouTube channel at 11 a.m. Central. So the next one will be a week after this video releases. And we have a range of exciting guests, and we have a range of exciting products that we look at, and just generally exciting things. And we have a whole back catalogue of live videos, which you can watch on our YouTube channel as well. And Corey, we have a podcast version if you do a search for Vision Forward Tech Connect on your favorite what do they call those? Podcatching?
Podcast apps? Podcatcher app?
Yeah, whatever
something.
you might want to call them. Then you will be able to find both Corey and I talking for about 45 minutes in a live kind of fashion. So please do feel free to check that out.
And if you're looking for something a little more professional, if you're like, I am a PhD student, and I would like something a little more.
How PhD students
I'm
go?
sitting in an office that smells of rich mahogany.
And I'm smoking a cigar.
Yes, and
I have my slippers on.
I'm wearing
drinking
lambskin slippers. And I would like something a little more professional. Well, we have that for you. It is our learning management platform. You can head over to techconnect.vision-forward.org. That's techconnect.vision-forward.org. And there you get live on-demand ACVREP credits. We've got tons of different webinars on there. And so you can go and smoke your cigar, drink your cognac, and get smarter.
Indeed, and why not do that? That sounds nice.
I think we should do it, honestly.
All right, Corey, well, we should, I'm not sure what we should do next, but maybe we should ask the MirrorPad and see what it thinks about what the next step for this video is.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Hey, MirrorPad, what do we need to do to get more views on our channel?
Finish.
Hey, MirrorPad, what's your favorite Nordic language?
Finish.
Ah!